welcome. HealthForce podcast, the HealthForce podcast, RamsandEliteFitness.com, RamsandEliteFitness.com. Today we're going to explore an area of science and research in which we haven't ventured yet. I want to make sure that our program has become established in terms of looking at actual science and rejecting things like pseudoscience and anecdotal information. However, I want to make sure that the audience understands that just because we here on this program stand for science and research and facts and intellectual arguments does not mean that every single thing related to health and fitness is black and white, that it's either scientifically proven or that it's scientifically disproven. Sometimes there are things in the middle. There are shades of gray. And today we are going to take a twist on the program and we're going to head into a couple topics that are shades of gray. Okay? The science and research is very much still out. It has not been proven one way or the other. But I'd like to discuss a deeper conversation than just say, the science says this, so it's inconclusive. I'd actually like to take it another step further and talk about result-oriented from the perspective of, does taking a product or utilizing a service, does it matter necessarily in all cases across the board that product or service is the direct reason for a certain outcome? Or sometimes is it okay if that product or service stimulates other things but still gives you the desired result? Now, if you find that confusing, just hold on, we'll get there. We will get there and we will explain this out. We will lay out the case that sometimes shades of gray can be just that, shades of gray. And sometimes they don't need to be 1,000% proven through science for it to be, in some cases, beneficial. Now, today we're going to take the case on essential oils and aromatherapy, which I have noticed become a growing trend, especially here in the United States, and we're going to take on some massage therapy, and we're going to look at both of these to determine we will briefly look at the science and research for both. Here's a spoiler now: it's going to be inconclusive. There is not enough research to indicate one way or another for these two. I guess you could call them. Well, one's a product and one will be a service, but there isn't conclusive evidence to fully suggest that they are beneficial for you. But just because something isn't measurable, or at least hasn't been measured as of yet, doesn't mean that it's thrown into the category of pseudoscience. Okay? I want people to be very, very careful about this distinction, and that's why this podcast actually will be an intellectual discussion on this, and you might find yourself very easily lost at points, but I want you to stick through it. You guys are the smartest audience for a reason. You want this intelligent discussion. You don't want boring protein, drink that shit. You don't want that. That's not what you come here for. And something else I want to give a disclaimer about before we get going here is that I am going to include anecdotal evidence or anecdotal information in today's podcast. Now, look, I'm fully aware I have slammed anecdotal evidence in the past, and for good reason. But you have to understand the context in which I will be applying it today, okay? And for those of you that have forgotten or are unaware, anecdotal information is taking personal experience and then trying to translate that to fact, or use it as evidence as to the positive effects of a certain product or service, okay? Now, usually when we're discussing anecdotal information, it's by fanatics in the health industry that are trying to push their supplements. And oftentimes they'll cite things like, this makes me feel better, or I feel healthier when I'm on it, right? And that's anecdotal evidence. And today, I am going to use some personal stories about aromatherapy in my own personal life and massage therapy. But, again, wait until, the context of today's discussion is shades of gray. I'm fully admitting that it's not scientifically proven. I am. The issue is when you have the fanatics use anecdotal information, they're trying to prove to you facts. They're trying to say, look, all the research says, plus I feel really good on this, so obviously it's true. Like, There's a massive difference between trying to persuade the masses that your product is scientifically proven and that it works because, you say so, because of anecdotal information, and then somebody else like myself today saying, look, I understand, I'm going to just give you my personal experience. I'm not saying it means that it's going to work for everybody. I'm not even saying that it's proven that this works. I'm actually admitting quite the opposite, that it's not proven anything. But here we go, okay? So that's the proper context for today's discussion. Now, for those of you who aren't aware of essential oils or aromatherapy, myself, we have in our bedroom, right above our headboard, there's a ledge, right? And we have a machine where you drop a couple of drops of oil into it and add water, and then the device essentially disperses. It's not really a mist because there is no water vapor. It's not wet, right? It doesn't like land on your face and then it doesn't become moist, but it essentially just disperses it into the air. And the sense, you can buy these essential oils. There's a million different kinds. They range in all sorts of different price ranges. And, if you go to the website, the company we have right now is doTERRA, DOTERRA, I do believe. If you go like their website and look at their oils, there's a gajillion, and they make some outrageous claims. I don't know if outrageous is the right word, but they make bold claims. They'll say certain things have been shown to help sleep. They have been shown this and that, and it's not that they're being dishonest. It's just that, as we talked about in the pretext of today's conversation, that these things aren't scientifically proven. So, if I were them, I would steer away from that. That's not the angle I would take. That's not the angle we're going to take today. But just be aware that people that sell these sort of items still may claim, facts and evidence when that's not the case. So we're making our own approach today. So don't listen to the people that actually sell the aromatherapy or sell massage therapy today. We're going to have our own discussion. Anywho, and before bed every night we, fill up a machine, and the scent we have right now is cedarwood, and it's a very earthly smell, and it's quite pleasant. It really is. It's very enjoyable. I feel relaxed, and does it help me with sleep? Look, I don't know that. I just know that I enjoy it. I find it to be positive. It's fairly inexpensive for how we utilize it. I know the disperser was a gift, so we didn't pay for that. So I'm unsure what that cost. But the oil, I can't even remember, but I want to say it's like $40 maybe, and it's a tiny little container or a cylinder thing. But you're only putting a drop or two or three every night, and we've had this particular one for a couple years now. Admittedly, we haven't used this thing like religiously. Like every night it's filled and running. It's kind of off and on, but it's fairly inexpensive for how we've been using it. Now, my main argument today, or the conversation that I want to steer this into, is: does a product that I would argue is in the gray, okay, it's not black or white, it's in the shade of gray in terms of scientific research, does it necessarily have to stimulate the response from the product itself? Or simply could that manifest itself in other ways in order to get the same response? Okay, let me dumb it down for 1 second. Just so we don't lose everybody. I don't want to have people, eyes rolling back in their head saying, what in the heck? Now, hold on. So, for instance, we have a very popular oil used in aromatherapy is lavender. Lavender, they claim, helps sleep. You sleep better, stress-free. It helps you relax. When it comes to using lavender oil, is it important that the lavender is the thing that actually causes your body to be relaxed and to increase your effectiveness of sleep? So, for instance, on a once you inhale it, the way your lungs, utilize the lavender and it goes into the cells or what have you, whatever the process is it important that influences the result, which should be better sleep? Or does that not really matter? And the fact that you are using aromatherapy, it puts you in a relaxed state of mind, a relaxed posture. You enjoy it, so it makes you happy. It gives you positive feelings, and that causes you to become relaxed. Is it really important that it's one or the other? And I would argue no. I think if your desired result is to be relaxed when you go to bed, and if you find your experience with aromatherapy to relax you, then I don't actually think it matters all that much what they claim from a science standpoint. I don't think aromatherapy necessarily is going to do like wondrous things for you. And I'm not saying that the aromatherapy industry does this, but let's use an extreme example. Hey, if you inhale this frankincense every night, you will be cured of cancer. Okay. Again, that's a completely fabricated claim. I have not read it anywhere. I'm using it as an extreme example. If they were to claim that, I would have serious problems. I would have major problems with aromatherapy, considering that that's nowhere close to being true. But I don't think necessarily they go about their business like that. I think most tend to be sort of quell. You're going to get the normal claims that, oh, this increases your sleep cycles or this helps you relax. This has been proven to show this. You'll get that. But the reason why I'm not smashing the industry is because I don't think they go, I don't think they're out of line. Whereas a lot of times on our HealthForce podcast, when we slam the fanatics, they are going way out of line. I mean, they're taking entire food groups and making you believe that it's causing cancer, for God's sake. So there's definitely a difference, and I want people to understand that today. About this is why we're in uncharted territory. If you've been a loyal listener since the beginning, this is unusual for you. We don't usually dip into topics that aren't scientifically backed, but I think it's very important though today that we talk about this because there are various shades of gray. I don't want people to think every single time someone, if you get in a debate or if somebody wants to show you a product or service, I don't want you to every single time be, well, where's the science and research? Prove it to me now. That's too far the other way. You see what I'm saying? There are things in the middle sometimes. And I believe aromatherapy and physical and massage therapy to be in shades of gray. So let's get to some material I have pulled up today. This is from the University of Minnesota. takingcharge.csh.umn.edu. Title of this article is called, What Does the Research Say About Essential Oils? Although essential oils have been used therapeutically for centuries, there is little published research on many of them. However, this is beginning to change as more scientific studies on essential oils are conducted around the world. Clinical studies are currently underway in Europe, Australia, Japan, India, the United States, and Canada. Many of these studies describe the remarkable healing properties of various oils. Now, who is doing this research? A significant body of research on essential oils has been conducted by the food, flavoring, cosmetics, and tobacco industries. They are most interested in the flavor, the mood alteration, and the preserved qualities of essential oils. Some of these companies have also conducted extensive research on the toxicity and safety of essential oils. And I want to stop there because I think there's 2 points I want to make. Number one, on the last sentence there, I think it is very important to study the toxicity of these oils. If it comes to the point where scientifically they can prove that they are actually toxic or actually harmful to you, then I'll be the first person to come out and state as such, and I will say that you should not use them. But again, that's not where the research has led so far. But I think it is good that they are studying that. It's not always just about looking at the positives. You'll always want to look at ramifications too. So that's first. Number two, I think it's telling, and I actually think it's a very good step forward, that they're studying mood alteration. Okay, they're not necessarily looking at the effectiveness of certain products on a sleep cycle. They're not necessarily studying. They're not trying to measure stress levels and trying to actually get real scientific about that. They're talking about mood alteration, and I think again, that was the first question I posed to you. Does it really matter if the aromatherapy causes cellular change or causes things to happen on a microbiological level to induce a stress-free environment inside of your body and brain chemicals, etc.? Or is it important that it just happens? regardless of whether it's the actual product or if just the product allows you to be in an enjoyable state of mind, and that state of mind then changes the biochemistry. I don't think it really matters, right? So I think it is important for them to find out the flavors, what people enjoy smelling or inhaling, what people like to, if there's a certain aroma that they enjoy going to bed. I think that's very important. But you see that they're not claiming wild claims, at least not in this article. I think it's very important moving forward. Back to the article. Although much of this research is proprietary and not generally available to consumers, some of it has made its way into cosmetic and plant product journals. These journals are important sources of information as we accumulate a growing body of knowledge on essential oils. What are some issues in conducting research on essential oils? So they list a number of problems, why it's really hard to get the science and research behind these oils. Number one, essential oils are not standardized. The chemistry of essential oils is influenced by the local geography, weather conditions, as well as the season and time of day when the plants are harvested, how they are processed, how they are packaged and stored. Each plant is unique in its chemistry, so essential oils are never exactly the same. This is different from pharmaceutical drugs that are synthetically produced to be identical every time. Number two, it's difficult to conduct blinded studies with aromatic substances, and that's I think it's for obvious reasons, but just so people understand, when you're doing blind studies, you have two groups. One will be the experimental group, and the other one is the control group. Okay, experimental group would get, let's say, lavender to try to actually test the results of lavender, and the control group gets a placebo. And obviously, when it comes to aroma, it's probably, I don't like to use the word impossible, but I would imagine it's very, very difficult to try to give placebo aroma when you're going to be given a placebo if it's just plain air versus lavender. You almost have to conduct a study and not make the individuals aware. For instance, maybe you could do a study and say, this is an aromatherapy study. We're just looking to have you breathe in this. The air that we're going to supply to you. Some people may experience a certain aroma, some may not experience anything, blah, 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 and just try to go that route. But as you can imagine, it's very hard. That's a valid point. Number three, it's difficult to get approval and funding for research on essential oil. And then lastly, it's difficult to tell what caused the outcome. And that's the point that we made and the question I asked on today's podcast. It is difficult to tell what actually causes the outcome. Now, my issue is I don't think it really matters. But obviously, if you sell essential oil or you're a company that produces essential oil, you want to try to get the research to prove that it's the actual oil, because then you can make claims. And I just think it's going to be very, very hard for them to do that, and I don't necessarily think that might happen. What does the current research say? Research studies on essential oils show positive effects for a variety of health concerns, including infection, pain, anxiety, depression, tumor, premenstrual syndrome, nausea, and many others. So, it's certainly not proven, like we mentioned, but it's certainly not disproven either, aromatherapy. So, moving on, I have here a systematic review of the effect of inhaled essential oils on sleep. This is a review published in 2014, done by Lillier et al. Hopefully I get that right. Actually, it's Lillier and Halcon. And so for individuals, to give you an update here on how you should conduct your investigations, or if you're looking up information on a topic, if you go to something like PubMed, which is a massive database of research studies, you want to look up reviews of studies. Obviously, if you pull out one study and it shows a certain outcome, it doesn't mean that that's correct and that it's across the board going to happen, because a lot of things can happen. People can buy studies, essentially sponsor them, so that the outcome is almost already, guaranteed before it starts. And then there's outlier studies. So reviews usually will set standards ahead of time, and then they'll go through and crawl through all the studies on that topic and include the studies that make the cut and the studies that are outliers or don't make the cut or are faulty practice they cut out and will not be part of the review. And then they essentially look at all that information together, combine all the studies, look at where the overall data looks like it's headed, and then make their conclusion. So obviously reviews, peer reviews or systematic reviews are a lot more, they weigh a lot more than just one study. The objective of this study. Sleep disturbances are recognized as an important health and public health problem that affects physical, mental, and emotional health and well-being. Inhalation of essential oils may be a safe alternative to pharmaceutical interventions for mild to moderate sleep disturbances. Quantitative human studies on the effect of inhaled essential oils on sleep that were published between 1990 to 2012 were reviewed. Medline, PsycInfo, CINAHL, Science Direct, and PubMed databases were searched to extract articles that evaluated the effects of inhaled essential oils on sleep in humans. Our search yielded 15 quantitative studies, including 11 randomized controlled trials that examined hypnotic effects of the inhalation of essential oils. A majority of the study findings suggested a positive effect of essential oils on sleep. Lavender was the most frequently studied essential oil. No adverse events were reported. Their conclusions are the inhalation of essential oils may be considered for people with mild sleep disturbances. Further studies with larger samples and stronger methods and endpoints are needed to build on the findings. So the authors here looked at 15 studies. There seemed to be a positive correlation, but they felt that there weren't enough individuals in the studies to actually make a determination, and that they needed to have some stronger methods and results at the end points in order to actually come out and say, hey, look, this looks like it definitely helps. So lavender is an oil that is definitely recommended for sleep. And what I would suggest to people, look, if this is something that intrigues you, go ahead and try it out. Like I mentioned, it's not very expensive. The oils tend to last a while. I think the worst case, if you get a scent that you like, it almost works like a candle. I mean, I don't know. I think people react differently. I am big on aromas. I like candles, admittedly. I don't go out my way and buy them or make them or anything like that. But my girlfriend will definitely, buy candles, or we'll have candles around the home. And when she has them on, they smell delicious. Who the hell doesn't like chocolate cake baklava or Tahitian vanilla bean? Sorry, folks. I think that stuff smells good. But seriously, if you feel like you respond to aroma, go ahead and try them out and see if you sleep better. Like I mentioned, when we do, if you've listened to our mental nutrition series on YouTube, and if you haven't, come out of your rock, come out of your cave, go to our YouTube, which is Ramsley Fitness, hit the subscribe button, and every week watch our new video. They're like 2 minutes. If you don't got time for 2 minutes, you're just not serious about improving yourself, okay? But just like in that series, we've talked about the importance of thought. That we're doing a whole series on YouTube about thought and behavior and state of mind and how that actually can influence your actions and your body and how you actually feel. So to me, if aromatherapy creates an environment in which I enjoy, I think it smells good, I like it. And if I'm doing it in bed as I'm getting tired and sleepy, maybe that puts me in a relaxed state of mind, or just relaxes. I feel comfortable, so my body relaxes, and then I fall asleep. It doesn't matter whether the oil is responsible or if my feeling of being relaxed actually causes me to be relaxed. Here's a little experiment for you, folks. Thought can precede action, and action can precede thought. It's a circle. It doesn't really matter how the circle starts, but it's a circle. And here's an experiment for you. Go to somewhere that's very uncomfortable, whether that's somewhere that you don't like to go or somewhere that's really crowded, like a bar, right? Everybody goes to bars. Friday or Saturday night, you're at a bar, and you're feeling like you're squirming into a spot or something. It's always very uncomfortable, right? You're people all around you. You feel like you're scrunched together. Do this. Here's what you do. You mentally tell yourself, I am relaxed. And the kind of like spread out a little bit. Even if you have to like bump into other people or make other people move, get into a position that's comfortable and just tell yourself, you know what, I'm relaxed right now. And watch as your body literally becomes relaxed. Just watch, literally. It'll just happen. And then you'll say, holy crap, I am becoming relaxed. And that's the circle. Your thought is, hey, I'm relaxed. Your action is your body literally becoming relaxed, which then influences your thoughts again to say, yes, I am relaxed, which will only make you even more relaxed. Trust me, I know it can seem confusing, but that's the way that this circle works between your mind and your actual physical body. And so that's why I'm saying, when it comes to aromatherapy, it doesn't matter. If you feel relaxed and you tell yourself you're relaxed, you will literally become relaxed. And that's the point, isn't it? All right. I have another study here. Now, this is a one-time study. Okay, this is not a review. But I wanted to put it in here because I found it interesting. Now, this is aromatherapy for pain management in labor, published in 2011. So this is for ladies, obviously pregnant, about to give birth to a baby. Very painful. There are a variety of techniques or however you may see fit that women try to use instead of going right to the drugs to deal with their pain. Aromatherapy. This is interesting, right? Okay, here we go. This is the summary. Aromatherapy draws on the healing powers of plants with the use of essential oils to enhance physical and mental well-being. The oils may be massaged into the skin, in a bath, or inhaled using a steam infuser or burner. The pain of labor can be intense, with tension, fear, and anxiety making it worse. Many women would like to labor without using drugs or invasive methods such as an epidural and turn to complementary therapies to help reduce their pain perception. Many complementary therapies are tried and include acupuncture, mind-body techniques, massage, reflexology, herbal medicine or homeotherapy, hypnosis, music, and aromatherapy. The review identified, actually, I guess it is a review, folks. The review identified 2 randomized controlled trials of aromatherapy. One trial involving 513 women compared one of Roman chamomile, clary sage, frankincense, lavender, or mandarin essential oils with standard care. The aromatherapy was applied using acupressure points, taper, compress, foot bath, massage, or a birthing pool. The second trial involved 22 women randomized to bathe for at least an hour in water with either essential oil of ginger or lemongrass added. All women received routine care and had access to pain relief. The trials found no difference between groups for pain intensity, assisted vaginal birth, cesarean section, or the use of epidural, essentially. Overall, there is insufficient evidence from randomized controlled trials about the benefits of aromatherapy or pain management in labor. More research is needed. So, obviously, this is an example of something that does not necessarily put or prove or show a positive correlation between positive effects and then the essential oils. So that does it here for aromatherapy today. It's a very interesting topic, folks. Like I mentioned, try it out. This is something that I think is a shade of gray. There really isn't a right or wrong path on this one. So try it out. If it works for you, great. If it makes you more relaxed, perfect. If it doesn't, okay. I mean, that's cool too. I don't think it's necessarily proven to do that. So give it a go. There's a gajillion oils. Just don't get into all the hype that, if you have a tumor in your brain that, putting some sort of essential oil on your temple and give it a nice massage into your scalp is going to cure your tumor. Okay, so remember, shade of gray does not mean proven. So don't go the other way with this thing. I'm going to shift gears and talk about massage therapy. Now, many of you probably have received a massage. You know what a massage is. It may not be as mysterious as aromatherapy, but I'd like to speak in the context of massage therapy or massage after exercise in order to speed along muscle recovery and overall body healing. I think that, you'll hear that, you may have heard it before that, if you're really, really sore, go get a massage, or after your workout, make sure you get a massage because it'll help with delayed onset muscle soreness, or that it'll help your muscles recover fast. You can go back to the gym tomorrow and do the same muscle group. And in that context, massage works just like aromatherapy in terms of the research and science. Okay, it's not proven that happens. There is not an overwhelming trend in that direction either. It's very much a shade of gray, which is today's theme. I think massage, when you look at what your desired outcome is supposed to be, I think it works just along the same lines as aromatherapy. I don't think it necessarily matters whether it's the actual masseuse using their hands and they're pressing the muscle the right way that causes you to relax, or if it's simply being in that environment where you're just laying flat on a table, it's quiet. Maybe there's water audio, like there's like waterfalls in the background. There's a candles lit. Somebody's pampering you. You know, it's a very pleasurable experience. And that causes you to become, regardless, if you tell me you go to a massage parlor or a massage place and you leave and you're not relaxed, then that massage place sucks because, from my experience, they're fantastic. I wish I could do them once a week, and someday I will. But, again, does it really matter to you whether it's literally the massage and that it's scientifically proven that the way the muscles are touched causes you to become relaxed, or just the state of mind that you enter when you're in massage therapy that causes the relaxed state? I don't think it matters. Which is why you'll never hear me come on here and say, hey, look, get a massage after every workout. It's proven to recover, help your muscles recover, and then you can go hit squats again. No. Not saying that. We have some audio here. There's a video I want to play. Dr. Jim Stepani is an exercise physiologist, and he has a video that we're going to play on. It's called Benefits of Massage for Bodybuilders. Now, this advice that you're going to hear, it's only about a minute long. It does not apply strictly to bodybuilders. I don't even think he mentions bodybuilding once. I know bodybuilders are big on, can be big on massage. That's one of their things to help them recover in terms of like their contest prep, to make sure that they're able to hit their workouts hard. But look, what he's going to mention in the video can apply to everybody. So we're going to let him speak here, and he's going to make some fine points on massage.
I just got a 90-minute Thai massage. Now there's a lot of debate over whether or not massage, you can talk about the different styles, whether it's Thai, Swedish, a specific sports massage, what have you, but the debate is over whether or not massage enhances recovery. There's some research studies that suggest it may, some suggest it may not. What's not the debate about massage is that it can help reduce stress in your life. And between work, family, other responsibilities, we all have our fair share of stress piling up. Stress can wreak havoc on your health, it can wreak havoc on your gains, and it can wreak havoc in every other avenue of your life. Don't let stress prevent you from being a better worker, a better partner, a better father. And as far as getting better gains in the gym, research shows that those who are under more stress gain less muscle mass and less strength than those who have lower stress. So treat yourself to a massage every once in a while. Reduce stress, maybe enhance recovery, and enjoy yourself.
So, as Dr. Jim Stepani has nicely summarized, there isn't clear-cut research to show that a post-exercise massage will give you some sort of incredible recovery benefits. But what it does do, there's no doubt about, going to a massage, a massage facility, it reduces stress. You feel relaxed. It's a very, very pleasurable experience. It is. And there is science to show that stress is a negative almost across the board. And I'm talking about the bad sort of stress, distress, not necessarily the positive stress. This is what you would feel if you have a hectic work day, or if you've had some traumatic experience in your life. That sort of stress is not good, and it's across the board. Your health, your muscle recovery, your muscle gain, your fat loss, your sleep, all of it is negatively impacted by stress, right? So just like the aromatherapy, and now just like Dr. Stepani mentioned about massage therapy, if these two items, the aromatherapy and the massage, can reduce your stress, is there not benefit in them? Does it necessarily have to be scientifically proven? And I would argue no. It's producing the right outcome regardless of whether it's just the environment or whether it's the actual product or service. And I think it's very, very important. And you hear him lay out the case. He's not claiming that you're going to get all these, massive benefits. All right. And I think that's the mistake moving forward that you have to pay attention to. The claims being made by these individuals. If you have a masseuse that says, "Oh yeah, come to me every time you work out," a massage has been proven to make sure that your muscles recover faster, then they are not correct, and I would smash them, and I will show them essentially I have to show them the light, the quote unquote the light, right? And same goes with the aromatherapy. People that want to push that this thing causes tumors to shrink and that it's going to cure your cancer, they're out of their minds. But for reducing stress, I think they're very effective. One more piece I'd like to wrap this program up with is an article by Dr. Mike Israetel. Dr. Mike Israetel, by the way, go to his Facebook page. Israetel is spelled Israetel. You can just follow his page or, like his page or at friend request on Facebook. And he posts very frequently on training, nutrition, and my favorite, he is very humorous about a lot of things, which is an underused art. I think people aren't very good at it, and he is. He's actually very humorous. So he's always good for a laugh, too. So make sure you like his page. And again, Dr. Mike Israetel is a reputable name in the health and fitness industry. He's somebody who you can trust for actual knowledge. There is no pseudoscience. There is no massively used anecdotal evidence as proof. He is somebody you can actually read his statuses that he puts out and actually take it to heart. He's definitely a resource of mine that I go to when researching for a podcast, or if I come across something that he, either a research study that he comments on or an article that he writes. He's something that I definitely would like to, I like to learn from. He's very effective. So here's an article on JTSstrength.com, which is Juggernaut Training. The article is everything you need to know about recovering. Dr. Mike Israetel, and this kind of takes on that claim that massage is this, super effective method for recovery. Okay, I'm actually going to skip ahead here until he brings up massage, and he talks about reducing fatigue. Okay, that's the big point of the article. Reducing fatigue. Number one method he has on here, or I guess the number one factor, is sleep. Sleep is such a powerful fatigue fighter that it's likely more effective than all the other items on this list combined. In fact, if insufficient sleep is a chronic occurrence, it comes close to making even the best efforts on all other fatigue fighting lines null and void. Curiously, a likely major function of sleep in animals, including humans, is precisely to reduce fatigue. Yeah, you might be okay without the massage post-workout, but sleep is not optional. So there you see like a nice clever line that he has, and he starts to put his humor in there, pretty much refuting the claim that massage post-workout is supposed to be this proven fact. So sleep in his mind is more important than a post-workout massage. He goes on, and on his list, number 4, we're going to skip to number 4. It's called compassionate touching. Oh, Brand, would you keep this PG? Hold on now. Let him explain. It's not what you think. Necessarily. Compassionate what? Well, first I'm talking about smoking pot, which he does earlier in the article, and now I'm really off my rocker. Well, hold on a second. It turns out that compassionate touching is the standard sports science term for the recovery adaptation modality of all forms of intimate human contact. Okay, so stop right there. Next time you're holding hands with your girlfriend, or she requests that, you can now turn to her and say, "Why, certainly I would like to engage in some compassionate touching with you." Or vice versa. If you're not feeling it that day, you could say, "You know what, honey, right now I'm not into this compassionate touching. I'm going to pass." And then when she looks at you like she's going to hit you, you could say, "Hold on. This is actually a standard sports science term for the recovery adaptation modality of all forms of intimate human contact. You cannot be mad at me." Just kidding. Don't do that. I feel like it wouldn't work. Right? I feel like you would still regret that. Anyways, continue on here. This includes formal sport massage and runs the gamut all the way to what you were probably thinking when you first read the term, tee-hee, with all sorts of fun like everyone's favorite, cuddling in between. Why do we lump all these forms of human touch together? The most basic reason is that the literature can't really tell their effects apart. I'm going to read that again for you because this is the entire question that I've kind of asked throughout the podcast today. The most basic reason is that the literature can't really tell their effects apart. Possibly outside of standardized forms of medical massage to treat injuries, many forms of compassionate touching seem to have an almost identical effect on fatigue. They all lower it substantially, but the source seems not to matter as much. So whether it's a professional massage or a gentle back rub by your boyfriend, the effect in fatigue is substantial. Man, it's good news all around. Fighting fatigue means getting good sleep, eating lots of food, relaxing with friends, and then getting your back rubbed. Being an athlete rocks. Unfortunately, that about finishes up all of the really powerful fatigue fighters outside of the gym. And this is a good article because he also talks about some things that are science is, again, some more gray area methods for fighting fatigue. I'm just going to just quickly read them. I'm not going to read the whole article. Some things that are in the gray area right now, which means they're not proven, nor are they really disproven. Number one is a heat-ice contrast. So that would be going from like a hot sauna right into an ice bath. Number two, that's actually, well, I guess that is his only one that he thinks right now is kind of in the middle that may show some promise. So he wraps up the article with ineffective or delirious, I like the word delirious, fatigue reduction methods. So those that do not work. Number one is needless stretching, and that is actually a very good point. I think we may do a podcast in the future on stretching. It's probably the most overused method or technique in terms of performance that I have seen. I'm a high school football coach, and it makes me cringe every time I see a football team come out of the locker room for pregame and taking their cold muscles, not temperature-wise, but the muscles have not had physical activity. They've been sitting on a bus for a half hour and then sitting in the locker room for another half hour and then just stretching the muscle immediately. Very, very cringeworthy, and actually that will inhibit your performance. So anywhere I coach, I always try to put my 2 cents a little bit and let the head coach know, hey, if I were you, I would not do all the stretching pregame. And I know it's probably something that we frown upon because literally every team does it, right? They line up and they clap and they start to taunt the other team and they stretch. It's actually harmful to your performance. But that's, again, for another day. That'd make a very interesting podcast. Number two is a hot tub or sauna on the extreme end. And then number three, I think it's the last one here. No, he's two more to go for ones that do not work. Jogging as a way to reduce delayed onset muscle soreness. People think like if you do like a leg workout, if you do heavy squat, and then if you go out for a jog, that somehow your muscle will not be sore the next day. And then last is high dose anti-inflammatories. So that wraps up that article. So I had fun today on today's podcast. That wraps it up with what we're going to talk about today. I had a blast. Let me know what you guys think. Some feedback is always welcome. Facebook page, Rams Link Fitness. You can comment right on the link. Emails. We will take emails. We will take questions, comments, all forms. If you're looking for advice, shoot us an email. RamsdenEliteFitness@gmail.com. We respond to every single question, every single email. It might take us a little bit, but we do try to get there. If you notice our YouTube page, any comment on any video, we try to get a response to. We just view, there's no real point in having discussions with people and trying to stimulate conversation and ideas and then not actually participate in conversations or follow up with people and either challenge them on their point or, seek to congratulate them for sharing an experience or just to expand upon something someone says. So it's very important stuff. Again, hope you enjoyed the podcast. It's a little different. I wanted to show you a side of the scientific research crowd of health and fitness that we're not like robots, folks. We're not just like black or white. Everything's got to be proven or else we hate it. There are shades of gray, and it has a lot to do with the claims being made and the overall impact, I guess. There's a big difference between having some aromatherapy in your bedroom at night while you sleep versus changing your entire lifestyle around a paleo concept because people claim that and now you're eating, literally a handful of items. Massive difference. One has a big impact on your life and the other really doesn't. You may actually reap more. This is a question. I'm going to make a claim here to wrap up. You may receive more benefit from a gray area matter like a aromatherapy than you would receive benefit from something like a paleo diet, which is completely a farce and scientifically not legitimate. So, chew on that thought. Thanks all for listening, and I look forward to seeing you guys next week.